Hey guys, Crypto Insight UK here, bringing you back another video. I'm going to start with a bit of news about the Ripple SEC case, then onto a bit of FTX news, then what I think is happening with the markets, and looking at some charts to finish up. I'm going to try and keep this short and sweet. So, from Stuart Alderati, who's Ripple's legal counsel, he basically says more of the same from the SEC. This is following the last of the SEC's submissions to Judge Torres. More of the same from the SEC, failing to faithfully apply the law and trying to put the wool over Judge Torres' eyes. The good news is that we are closer than ever to putting the lawsuit behind us, though unfortunately, many are just starting their journey. So he's talking about obviously, other cryptos in that sense. We trust the court will approach the remedies phase fairly. So obviously that means like they're looking obviously now for the fines and what each fine might be. Just when you think the SEC can't sink any lower, if you're a financial regulator outside the US and have done the hard work of establishing comprehensive crypto frameworks, know that the SEC has no respect for you and thinks you're still handing out the equivalent of phishing licenses. Then he just references what's happening with Ripple across like overseas and stuff. So shots fired from Stuart Alderati at the SEC again. I think the most interesting thing about this is the good news is the lawsuit is basically closer than ever to finish him, and then referencing that other people are starting on their journeys. I think he's probably referencing like ETH, Uniswap, like all these people who are either under fire or about to become under fire, Robinhood. So there's that. Then on some potentially positive news, this is from CoinDesk, nearly all FTX creditors will get 118% of their funds back in cash. So basically, 98% of creditors will get 118% in claims in cash within 60 days of the court approval. The documents are filed Tuesday. There's speculation, I've seen speculation online basically saying that they think that this the start of the payout is going to come in Q1 of 2025. And I saw a chart on Twitter that I can't actually see right now. There was a chart basically saying that people with more than 50,000 get theirs first of dollars, get theirs first, and people with less than 50,000 get theirs like a little bit later. So now onto my thoughts on what I think is going on at the minute and like what I'm doing. As you guys know, if you follow me on X, I had some trades open this week. I closed them on Sunday, although I did open another one and get stopped out. But let's just talk about why and what I did. People ask why I'm closing trades. Well, I'm going to summarize all of it now as fast as I can. Basically, I'm just unsure on price action right now. When you're unsure, it's like a gamble whether as to what happens, and I can explain why. So we'll start with this. There's a nice open candle here for Bitcoin that hasn't been back tested on the way up, which is what I talked about. Previous liquidity here and a nice area. Often when you see big open candles like this, you do come back and test the body of these candles. I would presume the pullback would be at least to the level, maybe the start of the impulsive move there, or like at least until the level of the previous high before the start of that move. And then I said basically, if we do get that move, like, is there going to be extra pressure to bring us down to look at this liquidity here that still exists? There's quite a lot of liquidity there in the cryptos, in the Bitcoin price action, which is about $56,500. Secondly, I'm not 100% sure on my wave count. I can argue for different wave counts than this, but I do still obviously think that we're in like wave three, at the end of wave three, going into or in wave four, formulating wave four, potentially starting wave five when we get that confirmation um, of the impulsive move. If we've got it, that's what I'm saying. It's like because it's quite weak. It's not really supported by volume so far. But as you can see, these are my wave counts. Yeah, basically. So I think an ABC within wave four with 5 waves down, ABC up, 5 waves down. I think that's quite clear-ish. But then you could argue this is one to like this wave four to wave five and wave zero to wave one. They should be roughly equal length. And with wave three, if it's perfect Elliott wave theory, obviously, wave three should be 0.66% or like 66% longer than wave 0 to 1 or 4 to 5, but there can be that can happen in different waves as well, but it's not common that one's shorter and two are longer. Basically, it's normally like two are shorter, one's longer. But anyway, that's what I'm saying. Like the wave count could be wrong, so that could be wave one, wave two, wave three, wave four, wave five could come lower. Again, that gives us that push down into that liquidity area that I'm talking about. With this push up, if I am right, or if we are resuming an uptrend again, even within the uptrend, we are going to have pullback and have the wave two after wave one, which I would like to see, as I said previously in this last little bit, like I would like to see us pull back into that area, which is this grey box here, which was the bottom of the range conveniently for Bitcoin as well. So that gives me some confidence that I think we might do that. Thirdly, like we've come back and tested the bottom of this range, and our fixed range volume profile is now at like 66,500 for Bitcoin, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. And lastly, with alt specifically, Bitcoin dominance is touching an area that like again is a pivotal area. There's no confirmation one way or another. We've lost this area as resistance. It was previous support, lost as resistance, now retesting it as resistance, but not confirmed either way. So they were the reasons why I closed my trade. If we look at what Bitcoin is doing now, it looks like it is coming down at least to this grey box. So the close of the trade isn't too bad right now. As I said, I did actually open another trade that you guys saw. I opened it on Flare, and I talked about how I think I jumped the gun there and was impatient. And to be honest, I'm beating myself up about that a little bit. Like I'm not like I'm still learning the game. I don't think patience is my number one attribute right now. Um, but yeah, we can go into that another time. And so yeah, I'm looking for this pullback from Bitcoin at least to the number two here, if not lower, coming back to like where these numbers are. Um, I'll show you where I would think it'd be like this sort of area, because if we look on trading different, which I haven't got open right now to show you, but I can always show you if anyone's interested. And there's liquidity in this area as we saw on that little post. Finally, if we look at Bitcoin dominance, you can see that it is starting to actually, after 2 days of rejecting this resistance, it's actually starting to push through and potentially break through this resistance. Obviously, nothing is confirmed until we get above this 55.29% level here for Bitcoin. But if we do, then like 57% is back on the cards, and alts probably take a bleed, to be absolutely honest with you guys. So, but again, there's little volume supporting it as of right now. It's all about watching what's going on. Something I am really keeping my eye on is the DXY. The DXY has been falling a bit, but then the last few days again has started to gain some momentum back. I think this will only be until the Japanese, the Bank of Japan intervene again, like they did last week as a $35 billion intervention, basically to push down the price. Um, oh, that's the pound, sorry, to push down the price of the dollar against the yen, or increase the price of the yen against the dollar. Um, this is for a majority or a big amount of different reasons, but it's interesting that it's found support on a previous high and it's starting to be brought back up again. So the yen's weakening even after that intervening from the Japanese government. Next, I think that we're going to see something like that out of China as well. And to be completely frank, I think the DXY is going to come down, because I think they're either going to have to make some sort of trade agreement, um, or do something to stop this issue of the dollar running away currency wise, because it's just smashing everyone else. I don't know what that will look like. Obviously, in the 80s we had the Plaza Accord. I don't think there'll be anything like that, at least not yet. Or I don't know for sure, but like in the meantime, we'll get interventions from governments. But then after that, what happens? There's talk of swap lines being opened up towards Japan from the US, so they can get more dollar liquidity when they basically want to sell dollars down to buy back the yen, to strengthen the yen. So who knows what happens next? Very interesting that Ripple are increasing, or like have a lot of chat going on with Japan at the minute. Providing liquidity is what we've always thought with XRP is one of the main use cases, and they have a strong relationship with Japan, and Japan like XRP a lot. Yoshitaka Kitao, I think that's the guy who's head of SBI. He really likes Ripple and XRP. He's close with the Japanese government. So let's see what happens there. That's all speculation on my side, but definitely something to pay attention to at these sorts of times. So yeah, there's basically my thoughts for the next few days, and I will update you tomorrow, guys. I'll be back on tomorrow morning to give you an update of what I think, if anything's changed. Peace up, A-Town Downs, Crypto Insight UK would say.